Hey guys, welcome back to Brothers Off Script. I'm Jerry.
I'm Ryan.
And this is 1 year in the tube.
Yeah.
We have been
I
shooting.
apologize for your ears.
I apologize to the podcast listeners, but we have been shooting this show for a full year.
Yeah.
And I will say, if you support what we're doing at all, we know we have some people who watch the show who have not subscribed. Please subscribe.
Yeah.
You'll get the notification when we upload a new video. And we've been trying to post those on Facebook as well. For people who know us personally. So thank you guys for watching so far. It's been a year. It's been awesome. We're out.
That's it, yeah. We're done.
No, so we set out, this is what we set out to do.
Well,
though.
we didn't even set out to do this so much. We set out originally, I think, just to see what would happen if we shot a video. And it
was horrible, by the way.
It pains me. I mean, just sort of relaxed, all hanging out in the chairs, just chilling in the garage.
We're just, garage.
I click on that episode every once in a while, not to give myself views, because it doesn't technically count, if it's not on a new IP, but it's disappointing to look back and think, like, man, how did that guy ever think that he could shoot a YouTube video? But it's been a really great learning experience. It's taught me a lot about thinking about what I'm going to say before I say it, trying to formulate good thoughts, having a point. But it's been, go from Denny's to this, and I still think every once in a while, like if we ever did go just podcasting, got rid of the video format, we should just go back to Denny's and do it at a Denny's, and have the ordering, like, I'll take like 5 eggs, 5 bacon, 5 sausage, and a cup of coffee. Bring it down. It
feels like in this situation, right, we focus a lot on, we've tried to improve on talking to the camera. We've tried to improve on projecting and being focused on what we're doing. We've tried to improve our lighting. We've tried to improve our set. We've tried to improve how we look. And
despite its low budgetness, it's still been, our massive donation to ourselves has literally been in the somewhere around $50 range.
Total.
For like a year's worth of just fun. The most expensive thing we own is that LED light over there. It's just an LED work light from Home Depot there. And you got
it was in the clearance bin.
You got it on sale.
So I just wanted to kind of think about like how this has all happened, right? Like we had this idea, this use kind of, hey, we're just going to shoot a video. And in the idea of that, there was a lot of hesitation. We really, I guess it seems strange now because this has become almost like this has become a routine thing that we do. It's Friday night right now. We shoot a video. I call Ryan on Wednesday or Thursday.
Confirm.
Hey, are you good to shoot this week? Yep, I'm good to shoot. I've got all my kids. He's got his kids. He's got work.
Hey, before we get too far, what's in your cup?
Kidding. Man.
I'm kidding. You don't have to go back.
But we came up with this idea of, we're going to shoot, and even in our first video, we said we don't even know what the title is.
Right.
But trying to do it and not being afraid of trying something, risking exposure, right? I've had a bunch of people say, well, I don't like what you made.
Right.
I don't like what you made. I think it was dumb. We had a couple of trolls for a while that were the only people that ever commented on our videos were people to say,
I think it was the same guy.
What you're making is horrible and nasty and you should stop and you're exploiting like a bunch of mean stuff. And in that process, I have, as you said, I've really enjoyed this. I enjoy spending time with my brother. I enjoy the conversations we have. And yeah, we don't agree on everything. And yeah, we don't always see it the same way. And I'm not as articulate as I want to be sometimes. I'm not as educated as I want to be on a point. But I'm trying to produce something. And now this idea of that this is in some ways for me, it's like a time capsule.
Yeah, I've talked about that too.
If I croak tomorrow, my kids have a version of what I thought.
And there's enough audio of you on the internet now that the AI could theoretically sound like you.
Sure.
So phone calls from beyond the grave coming back or something like that.
I've so enjoyed the process of creating something. And again, we're unscripted, right? We don't That's in the title, and it's serious. There's no monitors. There's no script writing. We don't have time for it. We just don't. We're busy. The most we do is, hey, we just got a new phone. Ryan got a new phone. I guess we better check and see if it works. And we tried to measure out with a tape measure, our super accurate measurement stick. It's right here.
Yeah.
To see if we're
square.
Kind of square. And yet, with all that, we've produced conversations that I feel had value.
Yeah.
They talk to real issues.
We got over 50. This is going to be episode 52 or 53, and then we've got the alternates, our spin-off shows that kind of spun all the way to the ground like one of those fun little leaves that you throw in the air and it just helicopter down.
But those were efforts to try things too, and we, it was hard for us to sustain those things.
In providing content, we've stepped away from the things that we really wanted to do, which was just have a conversation, and you can't do that when you're trying to. Honestly, when you're trying to be informed, the person who's coming into a conversation with fact and knowledge and just saying, like, these are the facts and this is the knowledge, that it's not formulating an opinion so much as it's just saying, this is what somebody else told me, or what I found in a book that somebody else wrote. Or, like, I don't think a lot of us in society, anyways, have what you would call an original thought, except in natural conversation, just having, like, hey, how's it going? What happened to you? And then relaying events that happen in your life. And that's all we've done so far, is just really talk about our lives in general. And I think as of late, we've just been really talking about, relationships and how to deal with people that you may or may not already know, but
setting goals.
It's just our opinions and the way we've interacted with life. And if that's something that other people have found in any way enjoyable, then we've done something good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not 100% set on what our final format might ever be. I don't expect to be a millionaire off of this. We're not going to be YouTube famous.
Yeah, I've had people say, you're going to get rich, and I'm like, no, I don't think I'm going to get rich. I think if we made top 10 videos, and those guys make money, but I think if you make top 10 videos and you make them consistently and you put some graphics on there and some music on there, half of them are taught, verbally spoken by a computer,
right?
And there's stuff you can find on Wikipedia,
yeah.
And it's like, but they get 4 million views because, hey, top 10 strange facts about, the Pharaoh.
The places you've never been, the places you're never going to go, the foods you wouldn't eat if you ever wanted to, but you know what, that's what we do as people, we consume.
Yeah.
We're all in this society to consume things, and we're providing more so, I think, to people we know directly in this situation than we would if we could. Like, we can't have the same conversation with all these people, but...
That's true.
Like, a lot of people don't... I don't know. They're not going to have the opportunity to have this conversation with us, and in this way, we're just... we're kind of having the conversation for them with each other, because I think I take alternate perspectives than what I would just think as myself. I try to step outside of me and say, like, how would someone else react to the situation? And then that's what I relay, in my own words. But
that's also the difficulty of having an unscripted show. We are flawed people, right? And so when we misspeak or we say something and then we think about it and we didn't really like how we sounded or what we said, there's knowledge and learning that comes into that. Maybe it's knowledge and learning for you, but a lot of times it's knowledge and learning for us.
There's no cuts, so
we don't get a redo.
Yeah.
And I feel like I have, to your point, like I feel like I've grown from the experience of being committed to this idea of creating something every single week. Every single week. And yeah, we've shot other shows, and sometimes we'll do 2 shows or 3 shows a week, but like we've created something every week for a year.
Yeah. And
that's something that I dreamed about for a long time. I'm going to draw, I'm going to write, I'm going to, film a video, but then I didn't do it. And when I talk to people who are musicians, who are artists, who are creators, and they're super talented. And I ask them, well, are you drawing right now? Are you playing music right now? Are you playing
something better to
sports right now? And they say no. I'm like, well, what do you do with your time? Well, I watch TV or I go to the bar. Okay, cool. Do you like it? Do you like doing that? No. Well, do what you like to do.
Yeah, I mean, but there's a temporary satisfaction in those things, and I think a lot of people now in creating something original it's somebody else has already done it. I'll never be great. I'll never do, again, we never thought we'd make $1 million with this show. It was your joke in the beginning. You literally wrote the worst contract in the world specifically because you knew you weren't going to make any money at this.
Yeah, no,
Ryan gets 90% of everything we make from this thing.
Everything. And I made you the executive producer of the show. He's the boss. He's my younger brother. He's done a fantastic job. I'm happy to have worked for him for this year. It hasn't paid off for me personally, other than emotionally. But yeah, I mean, but also because I didn't want, I think, in that situation for you to feel like, and this was my thought, I didn't want it to be, I'm forcing you to do this thing.
Well, it was,
you know what I mean?
We were having the conversation in Denny's, and you said, we should do this on YouTube. And I resisted. I resisted it for a while there. But it was still inevitably probably my thought that got us to actually do the shoot. Because I think we had 3 or 4 more conversations in Denny's after that. And we still never did anything. And then it was I think one day, I can't remember which camera it was that I had. I think it was the old 10 megapixel Fuji or something like that. I'm like, let me set this up on the tripod and give it a shot. And then, hey, Jerry. And then the next conversation, yeah, well.
Donald Trump, old people drinking. And
what are we going to talk
driving.
about? What is something people would want to do? What are we? Who are we? Is it 2 dads talk? Is it 2 brothers talk? Is it dads talk about kids? Is it dads talk life and dad-splaining? And we went through all 47 ideas, and then we finally did this. And I think I made the final shot and said we're going to be 2 brothers off script.
Yeah. Again, executive producer. So
you got to make decisions and ride them out. And so far that has worked out perfectly. And then the other ideas that we've had, I mean, it's still a team effort to produce these things because we both have to show up to make it happen. Now, when the kids show up by themselves and have a conversation, that's great. That's a completely different genre, and we can ride that. That's the one that's actually going to make the money. I mean, Safety from a 3-year-old's 85 views or something like that.
More than we've had on almost anything else.
And
the pallet wall. The pallet wall has been the biggest star of our show.
Which is kind of deceptive because it's not really how to build. I mean, we're missing the first half of the footage, but it's still, we did this thing to improve. We create to improve creation. I mean, I'm not going to say that it's perfect, and there might be a time in the future where I say it's not worth it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd rather go through the trouble of setting up the camera and making it level and trying to keep the autofocus off and getting the lighting right and dealing with all these things every week, just to continue having a conversation that actually means something. To us personally, so
it's real,
and letting other people into it, and that's. I think that would be just. It would be sad in a sense to not be able to have a conversation with somebody, and then being able to share it though is just kind of an additional burden. But in the same sense, it keeps you. I don't know.
It keeps you connected and grounded to doing it.
Yeah, and there's so many people out there that we don't get to talk to on a day-to-day basis that, might benefit. And that's where some of our topics come from, is you might benefit from our opinion. because a lot of people that don't want to have an opinion, or like me, like leave it up to a flip of a coin. Alexa, flip a coin. I got heads, like she'll do the work for me to decide which restaurant I'm going to go to. It's literally the pointless decision, but it's such a small decision that if you can't make it on your own, maybe you do need somebody to just kind of like push you in one direction or another, because more than likely if the decision is that, I guess, not important, like if it's not the difference between life or death or losing a job or keeping a relationship or something like that, then the final outcome was just you delaying because both options existed equally in your mind.
We've also tried to intentionally censor ourselves in a few areas. We only ever talked about it in our very first video. And we said, we're not going to use a lot of profanity. We're not going to make it racist. We're not going to talk about politics too much. We've talked about politics some.
Yeah, more than we probably should, but it's been a volatile year
for
politics.
Super volatile year.
It's kind of hard. If you didn't talk about it, you were just, purposely being ignorant.
We try not to talk about religion very much because we understand that that's a hard topic for a lot of people to have a conversation about. And the goal there is not because we don't have opinions on those issues. It's because it feels like this is not really the right format for that.
Bigger.
They're bigger than
so much bigger than just two people's random unscripted conversation. Like you can't encompass all that in a half an hour, and we already get told that our videos are too long anyway.
Sure.
So
we're trying to do that, and I think we've also made the effort to be very
PC.
To be thoughtful about the reality that different kinds of people exist in the world, and that just because you disagree with somebody's opinion, doesn't mean that you should attack the person. It just doesn't, right? Like, I don't agree that we're getting ready to go to China in a week. I don't agree that there should be millions of kids in orphanages around the world. I think that's bad. I think the kids need homes, right? But I'm not going to attack everybody who's ever given up their child. I'm not going to attack people who have gone through bad situations in life. And so I think that we've tried, I hope, to successfully to treat people with respect in the conversation. So I'm really proud of what we've made. Right. I think coming at this with no experience whatsoever in video or lighting or sound or focus, or
just being consumers ourselves this entire time, not really realizing what goes into it. And as simple as our setup is, it could be easily $1,000 to produce the same quality of video. You just have slightly better lighting, and maybe you have a fancy DSLR and you've got some editing software or something like that. But we don't need cut scenes and everything, even if that was going to get us that next level. I mean, I'll still turn off a YouTube video that doesn't have content I like.
Yep.
So
hopefully we'll find more people who like what we're producing. And so far, 49 people, 50 people ish.
Are we at 50 yet?
Well, I think we're down to 48, but basically I think that people have
I quit.
I think that people have been willing to click the button, and I appreciate every person who takes the time to watch our video. And some people have left comments, and I appreciate that people have done that. So I want to thank everybody for their participation. I sincerely mean it's cool to see that when as a creator or something, when you see somebody took the time to try.
Yeah. If you guys like what we're doing, I mean, the best thing you can do, besides the like button even, is just take a second and write us a comment. If you can't write it on YouTube because you're not logged in and you can't share it or something, I mean, you can share a YouTube page from your phone, from your computer, you can send it in email format if you need to. I mean, it'll upload to Facebook, and at this point, everybody's on Facebook. But the best thing you can do to help us make, better content, more conversations that are relatable to you, is to ask us a question. Mm-hmm. Not just, hey, I didn't like your video because you guys are ugly or something like that. Like, I don't care what you think. I got married a while ago. I'm good with that. Just say, I wonder about this, and that's how I can better relate to individuals, because all this stuff that we talk about is just what happened to you today, what happened to me a couple of days ago. Like right now, similar to a diary is whatever random thought that pops into my head that might be suitable for YouTube. I'm just recording it on my phone. Got the little voice recorder app on there. I just hit record. I say Superman something or other. This is that, and that might be something, and that thought could spiral into an episode, or a question I want to ask somebody else at some point. But until the time comes where we have too much fan mail or hate mail to actually sift through it all, I mean, your voice is going to be at the top of the list, honestly. Yep. We'll see it first, and we'll definitely respond if it's there. So check us out. We're going to keep making these videos, so we really enjoyed this year.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. We really appreciate it. Share it, like it, comment, subscribe, help us out. And thanks for watching.
See you next time.